lot of people, you said that they are African Americans
Mm,
who cannot travel or basically want to travel or leave
mm,
the United States
mm,
because of the chaotic lifestyle. It's not
mm,
more comfortable
mm.
the way it used to be. And you're saying that's a very wrong mindset. What if maybe actually things are really tough and people want to escape, right?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
maybe with that, they'll be
mm,
able to relearn and learn more about where they come from.
definitely.
Yeah.
Now, what I was saying with that is why it is good to
Hmm.
travel all over the world, not
Yeah.
just Africa, but specifically Africa to
Hmm.
connect with our African roots.
Right.
To come here with the understanding that you're not going to face any struggle is the
Okay.
wrong mindset to have.
Right. Yeah.
Because some people will be like, okay, well, let me just escape the ills
Yeah, of course.
of what's going on in America
Yeah.
because you feel that you're not going to experience woes in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's the wrong mindset to have
Mm-hmm.
because there is no such thing as a perfect place on earth. So long as like we're here in this ecosystem,
Mm.
we're gonna have to also navigate the good and the bad
Right.
and learn how to create positivity
Okay.
while understand that there is negativity around.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. Because
Alrighty.
some people think, okay, it's just gonna be perfect.
Mm.
Because I've seen it, like some people with YouTube channels where they'll travel to Tanzania or any other place, and then they'll get there and talk bad about America
Right.
because they feel like now they're on the other side. But then after like
Right.
6 months,
Right.
7 months living in those countries,
Mm.
then they get scammed or some stuff happened and they're like, oh, do not come to this place. Oh, I'm moving back to UK. I'm moving
Right.
back to America. I'm
Oh,
moving back to
because
Canada
okay,
because
of
I
the
thought this place
experience
was
that they
like the
had.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what I mean? And that's not wisdom. That's
Call it.
basically what I mean.
Yes.
But it's great to come and connect with the culture,
Right.
connect with the roots and spirituality and everything like that.
I definitely agree with that because you've heard about the passport bros.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're good narratives about it, so it's like wrong, kind of
Mhm.
like a wrong narrative about them because it
Mm.
depends with the individuals that
Yeah.
travel and whatever they get from the experience that you've said
Mm.
because something might happen to them which you've
Right.
said it's life ups and down wherever you go. It's not like a utopia, right?
Right.
And they'll definitely sell that on YouTube or in the media, and actually that actually permeates a lot of fear for a
Mhm.
lot of people who've never really left um whatever they are,
Right.
if it's the United States, the UK, name it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like I mean, even specifically with the passport bros, a
Hmm.
lot of brothers, for example, they'll go to Colombia
Yeah.
or even come to certain countries in Africa, and they'll probably go, let, for example, to a nightclub and meet
Okay.
some women,
Right.
and they'll probably get robbed.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And go online and says, hey, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and someone else who lives in America will watch
Right.
that and say, oh man, I'm not going to Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not coming to such and such country because you might know. It's just this person didn't have wisdom to
Mm-hmm.
understand that there is a certain way to navigate life. You don't just put yourself out there
Mm-hmm.
thinking that nothing will happen to you.
Right.
It's like the some sheep go in the midst of lions and say I'm not gonna get eaten. Like,
That's a fact.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Not me, but the sheeps.
Yeah. I get it,
You know
Musa.
what I
Of
mean? Like, yeah,
course.
those sheep are gonna get eaten. You feel me? Because you just navigating like amongst lions. You have to know, like, there is a way to
Mm-hmm.
operate,
Yeah.
and so that's the principle of life.
Right.
And but when you learn to operate in wisdom, then the experience becomes
Yes.
you know great.
That is so
Yeah.
true. It's reminding me of the power of positive thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes chaotic moments come, but also good things come out of it. So
Definitely,
that's wisdom,
of
right?
course.
So going back again
Mm-hmm.
to all the way to Miami,
Mm-hmm.
where you literally grew up, right?
Well, you can say Florida,
Florida?
from South Miami all the way to
Yeah,
different parts, Central, yeah.
right. So what made you take that step? And like, you know what? I'm just I'm just traveling. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, what made you just wake up one day and you're like, I'm done being here.
Mm.
I just want to take this adventure
Yeah.
all the way to Africa?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to go back, I've always been a traveler.
Okay.
I've always been someone who liked to move around. And so from the time when I graduated high school and I started traveling
Okay.
to different parts of the states,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just grew to love traveling,
Mm-hmm.
meeting different people, like being in different states, different cities, learning different culture. Because even in America, though, like for example, as an African, you're
Okay.
looking at, for example, Black America, you
Right.
just see one people.
Sure.
But when you live there, you realize like Black America in Atlanta has a different aura, has a
Okay.
different energy
Okay.
from Black America in New York City.
Okay.
And so I just grew up to love those experiences where I can eat different foods when I'm in
Okay.
Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
than when I'm like in New York City or
Right.
different places
Mm.
within America. And so I just enjoyed that traveling experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started going outside to the Caribbean and then Central America. And then I had a trip where I went to Costa Rica.
Okay.
And right after that, that's when I started connecting with some brothers in West Africa
Mm-hmm.
and then local West Africans. And then I said, okay, well, let me just come and experience West. Mind you, I didn't have any plans for East Africa, though I wanted to come. Okay, let me reel it back.
Okay.
One of my first desires was around COVID
Okay.
when Tanzania was a very open
Yes.
country
Yes.
around that time.
Mm.
And I wanted to come, but for some reason things just was not in
Okay.
alignment at that moment.
Okay.
So then after that I just kind of left that whole thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But then I kept traveling local.
Mm-hmm.
So then back in 2023, then that's when the idea came back up again
Okay.
because I wanted to harness a different level of perspective because around those times I was heavy into herbalism
Mm-hmm.
and I was heavy into meditations
Okay.
and learning about roots, herbal medicine
Yeah.
specifically.
Right.
I was teaching herbal medicine. I held courses, lifestyle changes, and teaching people how to, navigate
Yeah.
through lifestyle related diseases because, in America, diabetes, high blood pressure,
Yes.
there's a lot of diseases
Yes.
that is more so related to
Yeah.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
what we consume.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was doing a lot of those teachings. So then I wanted to dive deeper into like the herbal medicines, even in Africa,
Okay.
just understanding the roots and
Mm-hmm.
different things like that. So I wanted to come to West Africa, Senegal,
Right.
but it was only to be for a short time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have in mind that I was gonna be here for over a year. So then when I was in Senegal, I started learning about the culture,
Right.
the Wolof and the Sédis, Sarahori, all the different
Okay.
tribes and ethnic backgrounds.
Right.
Then I will visit different islands in Senegal. They have an island called Gorée Island,
Mm-hmm.
where they have the door of no return, where they showed like the transatlantic slave trade from
Right.
that side.
Right.
Then from there, I went into the Gambia,
Mm-hmm.
and so a whole new can of worm just
Mm-hmm.
opened up,
Mm.
and I had to kind of audible my stay in Africa.
Yeah.
Audible. It's like
Yeah.
I had to reconsider
Yes.
my stay in Africa.
For
You,
sure.
you know what I mean? And so then I extended my Africa stay
Right.
to where then I wanted to experience Egypt. Egypt was like such a profound experience because I'm a historian.
Okay.
And
That's first
so
half.
I studied history like
Mhm.
extensively
Mm-hmm.
from different perspectives, from the religious Christianity
Okay.
perspective,
Okay.
from Catholicism perspective, from Islamic perspective,
Mhm.
from the Kemetic perspective.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
And so and also even a little bit of the Eastern perspective of history as well
Mhm.
with the wars and different things.
Right.
And so I was always curious to visit Egypt, and so when I went into the museums,
Uh-huh.
it was like a surreal moment because
What
I no
happened?
longer had to open up a book to learn
Yes.
about the kings and the
You're
queens, and
literally there.
I'm literally like I'm
Yeah.
seeing the bodies, like the
Yes.
mummified bodies.
Really?
Yeah, where you can go. It's like a museum that has an underground.
Like a tomb?
Uh huh.
Okay.
But you can go. They have the mummies, the live bodies inside these um temperatured
Okay.
um containers, glass containers. So you can look inside and you see the bodies laying
Real life
down.
bodies.
Yeah, real bodies,
Like for how many
mummified,
years?
like thousands of years
Are
back.
you kidding me?
Yeah, and so going there and then seeing the names, the
Uh-huh.
history with the body, actually you're looking at it. I didn't have to see it in a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had the epiphany, like, oh wow, someone just traveled to Egypt and took a picture and then wrote some stuff
Right.
and sell me a book about Egypt.
Right.
I'm like, damn, let me kick these books now, because
Right.
I'm seeing it right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like someone can just
Of course.
snap a picture
Yes.
and just record it, right? All the different things,
Mm-hmm.
and then put it in a book
Right.
and sell it to you.
Mm-hmm.
But when I can actually buy a plane ticket
Right. And have the
for the
experience.
price of, a fraction,
Yes.
and then come and have the experience, then I
Right.
can write my own book.
That is so true.
Not necessarily in literature,
Mm.
but write my own book within my own experience.
Right.
Because the DNA, the mind, your book literally changed.
And you were literally there
You literally
having
there.
the experience. It basically brought up a very pivotal conversation about the land of Kemet, the current Egypt right now, and we know most of that conversation, or a lot of it, has definitely been hidden. And I rather